Hi, what up, YouTube? Back at y'all on the episode of Running With You. This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Marley G. And I made a video about this like maybe a few years ago, and I want to make a part two, man. This is a new perspective on my thoughts on social media and dating. Has it ruined dating in 2024 going into 2025 in this new era, this modern era of young men, young women, and even older men, like, from the ages, I want to say 15 through, let's say 45. I think a lot of people 15 through 45, that's like the dating pool where everybody are kind of talking to their counterparts in their age brackets and a little bit out their age brackets, if we being honest. But um, do I think it has, ruined it? Me, I feel like that's the same as saying people don't kill people, guns kill people. If somebody wanted you dead, they could kill you without a gun. If somebody gonna be sneaky, if somebody gonna be less patient, it didn't need social media. I feel like a lot of this stuff just bring it out people and expose it even faster. That's all. This is when they say, oh, money can change a person. Yeah, money can change a person. But at the same time, I feel like that person was kind of going to be that person that the money changed it to him anyway. It's just the money exposed it and brought it to the light even quicker. I'm 35. I'm 35. So I was around before social media was out. I was around when you had to literally go to the mall, be out and about at like a little event, and you had your pen, you had your paper, or sometimes you use your hand and you go get girls' numbers. And girls, if they like you, they'll be willing to give you their number. And they mainly went to give dudes their number. And you'll call them, you'll probably wait like a day or two, play the little waiting game, didn't want to seem too thirsty. And you'll call it their house phone and you'll just hope they there and they'll pick up. So I kind of like got the best of both worlds. I know how dating was before social media, and I know how dating is after social media. I knew how life was before MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, all these dating apps like Tinder, and all these type of things that having access to everybody is way more easier than ever now. It's almost like having everybody's phone number in the world. You just have to look them up, and you can easily be access to them. Now, when it comes to men, I feel like men, we haven't changed. I feel like men always been the hunters. Excuse me. I feel like men always been the ones to go approach a woman, and a man gonna take whatever they could get, and a man gonna, as long as there's females out there, men gonna pretty much shoot their shot. The men haven't really changed. What changed is the females, and I'm gonna give you an example. Right now, a female. Well, let me take you back then. Back then, if a female wanted to talk to a dude, it would usually be in proximity. For example, wherever a female stayed, they probably have talked to a dude in the neighborhood. Wherever a female went to school, they'll probably have talked to a dude in their school. Wherever a female went to work, they'll probably have talked to a dude at work. Or if they was out and about, like they went to the store, they went to the club, they went to an event, then yeah, they can exchange numbers or whatever the case may be. But it had to be physical. The only time it wasn't physical is when the party line came around. If you know, you know. Or if they friend had a friend for them and like, yeah, girl, let me put you down with this dude. I talked to his homeboy. Then they could get his number and they'll probably start talking, but they'll still have to meet, and they'll have to meet physically. But for the most part now, a female could just be at home, upload a picture, and the guy could be all the way in Los Angeles. She could be in Atlanta, and now she could be flying to Los Angeles if thing was to click between them, and he could fly her out. Mind you, this just could be a regular dude. The landscape really changed when celebrities really got access to these girls now. Like Before your girl, I have to be at a concert to see a Chris Brown. Now Chris Brown could easily just be in your girl DM, and on that weekend could go see Chris Brown. Like, it is actually possible now. It is possible. Back then, girls, they'll get home, they'll go on their phone, the phone. I think I forgot what it was called, like a little answering machine, when you leave the little voicemail or whatever and be like, yeah, man, it's such and such, hit me back. They'll probably come home to like about 4 of them, maybe a good 6 if they were just that fine and just giving a number to a lot of dudes, and or whatever the case may be. But now you go on you just look on a phone. Just look on a phone. Look on look on a girl that's very attractive. She ain't even got to be that attractive. She could be average. Ask her to look through her phone. You ain't got to just read it, but just look at her phone. Look at her DMs. Look at Instagram. Look at her Facebook. Look at her Twitter. Look at her TikTok. If she got Tinder, if she got Bumble, if she got BLK, if she got all these other different dating apps, look at them DMs. Plethora of dudes. And out of all these different apps, it may be a celebrity or two. Even if he's not the biggest rapper, it could be like a guy on his way up, on the come up. He kind of hot in this city, he kind of hot in this region, but he just not nationwide yet. That's a lot. Not to mention the party promoters in that city that's heavily known. Not to mention the scammers in that city that's heavily known. The street dudes in that city that's heavily known. All the dudes who probably not even into that life, but they got themselves together and pretty much doing well for themselves. They got access to all these men now. And if you've been having access to all these men, let's just say you 23, you've been looking good, uploading pictures on your social media since you were 17. That's 6 years. After a while, you're going to start developing entitlement because you've been getting all these offers from dudes. You've been getting all these advances from dudes. You've been getting all these, gifts from dudes. When somebody do something for you, it don't even be appreciative anymore. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, when I do something for somebody and it just be like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not even appreciative. It just like, okay, whatever. That I'm glad you got me this gift, but I'm not impressed. It's almost like an entitled kid that got everything they wanted coming up. And then a lot of these girls, they aggravated with a lot of men. It just they weed out and pick and choose the minuscule of men that they want. And the men that they want, a lot of other girls want. So that small bracket of men that they want, a lot of other girls are fighting for the same small bracket of men. Now here and there through alone getting to those men, just gonna have a few little guys, scratch the surface and still be talking to these females. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. The same way she could be talking to an athlete and get knocked up, the same way she be talking to the average Joe and get knocked up. The chances are still there. But the entitlement is crazy, and they just less appreciative. Especially when you're seeing all these girls getting these certain gifts and all that, and they probably don't even deserve it. Not to mention the rise of OnlyFans. Girls are making millions of dollars off of simping, just because we in a era where a lot of guys are, they not getting much attention from women. And by social media and these iPads, it's making a lot of people less social, less interactive with each other. A lot of guys are at home on the game. A lot of females are, they at home, they're on TikTok. And when females do go out, they ain't just going out for fun. They going out to show off and put it on the Instagram story. It's kind of like a hook. The Instagram story is the hook to get more men. And a lot of times when girls are uploading, when they're uploading stories and they're at like a bar, or they act like a lounge or whatever, but they only showing their drink, they're only showing their food. A lot of men, we know what's going on. You ain't there paying for it yourself. Another man is with you. The only time they show the person when they're with is when they with their friends. That's the only time. And sometimes they might not show their friends, but they'll just show their friend hand with taking a shot. But right next to their friend taking a shot that they show with the hand is the dude who paid for those shots sometimes. But girls do that uploading for two reasons. They show these things to show that their other friends, like, oh yeah, bitch, I'm out again. Somebody didn't pay for me to go out to eat again. I'm doing some fine dining. I'm getting these drinks, and the girls in their DM like, bitch, where you at? Who you with? Oh, I'm with such and such. And sometimes they do it to get the attention of another dude, because some dudes will see that and be like, oh, she's out with somebody else right now. Oh, I got to step my game up and I got to make another offer. Oh, I got to step my game up, and wherever they went, I got to top that or match it. But dudes like me, I kind of get turned off. Like if I see you and you posting on your story, you here, you there, you in this car in the passenger seat, you in that car in the passenger seat, I kind of get turned off. Because you out and about too much in the streets. Now, if you dating and you single, that's cool and that's fine. But when you letting it be known like a Batman signal, it's kind of like a turn off to me personally. But that's the good thing about social media. It exposed a lot of people to show their hands, and that way you could kind of already get an idea of somebody, and you could just know they ain't your speed. So that's one of the good things about social media. But that's why a lot of girls post on their story to get their friends' attention. Oh yeah, girl, I'm doing it like this, and to get another dude attention, make them feel like, oh, they got to step their game up. But some dudes, they'll probably actually get turned off. You know, because you're not buying these drinks. You're not buying all these fancy meals, especially if you just only showing the drink and a meal in these stores. But it's just like it's just a tactic used to get someone's attention, you know. But when it comes to, you know, social media, a lot of people feel like they got more options. A lot of people are less patient with somebody. They're like, oh, and then it's an era of being cold-hearted. You know, it's everybody want to be a savage. All the women, they want to be masculine. All the men, you know, they're trying to, you know, go above and beyond for the baddest females, you know. So what happens is a lot of people trying to be savage, a lot of people trying to be cold-hearted, a lot of people trying to be nonchalant or whatever the case may be, and people get impatient. And, you know, if you're dealing with somebody, if you coming through like a little rough patch, you feel like, oh, well, I got all these people in my DM, I could just drop you like a bad habit and somebody else will be on my body. Not knowing it's an option to entertain, but is it an option that's going to take you serious? Is it an option that's going to be turned into long-term sustainability for a relationship? You know? And I think that's where the confusion come in, because you technically just replacing a dude with another dude that's just like him. You replacing this girl with another girl that's just like her. You know. But do I think social media has ruined things? I do think it has an effect on a lot of people. People are just grabbing their phones without even knowing they're grabbing their phones. It's almost like secondhand nature. It's almost like doing something you don't even realize you're doing it. You just grab it and scroll, and you just kind of like a slave to your phone. Your phone is basically an extra body part at this point. And it can take a toll on people mental, because people do a lot of comparisons. People see these rapper baby mamas getting these cars. People see these rapper baby mamas getting these trips and these bags. Girls want to, you know, feel like they do need to be stepping their game up and doing that for them. And half the time they don't even deserve it, probably. And that's another reason why it coming with the being unappreciative. A dude probably took you out to dinner, got your hair done, got your nails done, probably didn't brought you to a spot for your birthday, but you comparing your life to what this rapper baby mama done got. Comparison is a thief of joy. And a lot of people are getting their mentals ruined, and they start to feel like a certain standard in society is supposed to be this. A lot of people's standards has risen with social media. He who controls image can controls minds. And you see a lot of imagery going around on social media, especially what your algorithm is feeding you, because that's what you like. If you like a lot of mess, a lot of drama, your algorithm gonna feed that. If you like a lot of baby mama from rappers and all this and all that, and following these certain things, that's what your algorithm gonna feed you. And if you comparing your life to that, and you working at Family Dollar, you set yourself up for failure. And it's going to be funny how a lot of these people turn out in, I say, the next 20 years. I just want to see. Because a lot of dudes who were the talk of the town when they came to football, and, you know, they were the man back in high school, and they had all these trophies and all that. It's hard when you come to the realization that you're not that guy no more. You 35 and you still talking about your highlights that you did in high school, but you ain't do nothing ever since. Same with females. You've been getting all this attention on social media. But what happens when that day come where you wake up and you 34 with 3 kids? A lot of guys not taking you serious. You ain't as hot as you used to be. What happened when that day come? I think a lot of people, and I ain't even gonna say you're 34. I'm gonna say when you're 50, because 34 is still relatively young. I ain't even gonna say that. I'm gonna say when you're 50. That's gonna take a toll on a lot of people's minds when that day come where you just not that no more. I think a lot of people are gonna be on medication. This social media stuff is gonna be very interesting to see how people turn out, especially with the streamers who stream their whole life. They streaming their whole life on a daily, on streams. You know, you can't just put everything on the internet. You can't open up Pandora's box to everything about your life. The best things to keep off the internet is your relationship and your finances. You know, but I'm just a dude with an opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Has social media ruined dating in this modern era? Or we just gotta just separate the two eras. Like that era was that era beforehand. This era is this era. You got to deal with it, and technology is just going to advance from here. Because who knows what they're going to come up with in the next 10 years. We're going to be on some real futuristic Jetsons type of shit. You know. But me personally, I think it definitely changed the landscape, but I think it exposed people for who they really are, you know, at an earlier rate. You know, because when these females getting all this attention, that word big head is for a reason. You know, and a lot of dudes, when they get on, they start to embrace tricking. They starting to embrace, you know, spending the bag on a female and all this and all that. And that right there enables the behavior. That right there, you know, and ain't even just with the black community. I think it changed the landscape overall, period. But, you know, this show right here is kind of dedicated to the black community. But I do think overall it has changed the landscape. But at the same time, people are going to be who they was going to be regardless. Certain stuff could just expose it quicker. Just like I said with the gun analogy and the money analogy. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section below.